for my love 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 for my just another year I see free.
Welcome to season 2 of Dreamer Talks, presented by Craft Your Dream Inc. I am your host, Trevon Gross Jr., and I am joined by none other than Nadia Bangura. We are here on location at the Bang Studios here in Burlington, New Jersey. Thank you for having us.
Yes,
this is awesome.
Yes, thank you for coming through.
Of course, man. You know, what you're doing here is phenomenal, so we had to come highlight you. So, first question, just jump right into it. Tell me what you would define success as. What's success to you?
Success. I think I would define it as my comfortability to get things done in my life without any type of struggles and complete happiness.
Okay, I like that. So, keywords in that: comfort.
Yes.
And then just happiness.
Absolutely.
Right. So, tell me what's happiness look like for you?
Happiness is being able to do what I want to do, which is dance and completely fund my life. And just being able to give back and inspire others and see others just shine and grow in this dance industry also.
Now, how long have you been dancing?
I want to say 18, 19 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How'd you get introduced?
My mom. So funny thing is, my brother, he's 7 years older than me. So when he was doing sports after school, there was no one to let me into the house, when I got off the bus. So my mom was like, all right, after school, we're gonna put you in something. So she put me in dance classes, and it kind of just set the tone. I just loved it. And it was an every year thing, recitals, just all of that.
All right, so tell me though, because I'm not as familiar with the dance. So what about dancing? What made you fall in love? Tell me the details.
So for me, it's the glam, the show, the rush that you get, and just performing in front of people. Just looking out and seeing that auditorium or seeing that, that theater filled with faces that are just looking up at that stage. The bright lights, the colors, oh my gosh, it gets me going. And then just being able to embody different characters. Every dance is giving you a different message. It's telling a different story. So you have to embody that character as a dancer so that your viewers can get it.
Yeah. So
for me, that's I just love that.
I think that's dope because honestly, even just in hearing you describe it, dance is an art.
Oh yeah.
And I think a lot of times when you think of art, people think of, dance gets forgotten about in that.
Yeah.
So I think that's really dope that is how you fell in love, why you fell in love with it. So tell me, so you fell in love with dance.
Okay.
You said you danced for 18, 19 years.
Yes.
You popular.
That's your fault.
No, I'm whack.
That's your fault.
Listen, so you've been dancing for 19 years.
Yeah.
How did this come about? So we're in your very dope studio. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
How did this come to play? Where did this start?
So basically after college, I was on a dance team all through college. And once I graduated, I'm I still want to dance. I don't want this to just be a school hobby thing, or now that I don't have a team, I'm just going to stop. So then it came to, a situation where I wasn't finding the outlets that I was, finding when I was in college. I went to school in North Jersey. Okay. So it's, super close to New York.
What school?
Kane University.
Kane, okay.
Yes. So, that's super close to New York. It's a 20-minute train ride. And, dance is really prevalent in New York. So, North Jersey, that whole area, they have a lot of studios, a lot of classes going on. But I'm from South Jersey. So once I graduated and I came back home, I'm like, yo, where am I gonna dance at? Like, where are the classes? You
Yeah.
know? And then that's a commute to go all the way to New York or to North Jersey all the time.
Yeah.
That's a commute.
Serious.
And you know, some of these classes are during the week. I'm like, how am I gonna rush there after work and things like that? So it kind of just pushed me to want to have something for myself and for people like me in South Jersey, in our area.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you definitely need somewhere to dance.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need somewhere to go instead of my basement.
Yeah. Because I mean, like you said, there's obviously it being more prominent up there in northern Jersey, New York, but then you're able to now create your own little lane.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how's that been now that like you've been open now? You say you've been open for 8 months now?
Yeah, almost,
So how's that been like? It's been very receptive? Like
So I want to say that each week it gets better and better. Big on the word of mouth, you know. A lot of my students that come in were like, oh, I saw my friend post, you know, a video where she came here to dance, so I just wanted to see what, you know, what it was about.
right.
So, you know, word of mouth has been really, really big for me and a big blessing. On top of just dancing to, you know, songs that are trending, songs that, you know, people want to listen to. When I post a video to that song, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I love that song and I love that dance. Where can I do it? Like, I want to come learn it. And I'm like, well, you got to come to the bank so I can teach you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's been, you know, slowly but surely picking up each month. And I'm still new to the area too, because I don't live in Burlington.
Okay.
So it's really just getting the word out there. But it's building. It's definitely building.
So with that, so it's been building,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
Tell me about like what's the challenges of it? Because I understand as being someone that, you know, you're into something that is more artistic,
Yeah.
right? And then you turn it into this.
Yeah.
You then have to learn the business side.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Like where it's like, okay, like look, I just want to dance. Like,
Yeah.
all that LLC, all that stuff is cool. But I just want to dance. Like, how has that been for you? To like kind of have to learn that,
You
especially
know,
with something like this.
It's really funny that you asked me that because Google was my best friend.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would have been as confident if I also didn't have other friends that had businesses and like started their LLCs. But it definitely, you know, started with that LLC and just getting this name as, you know, a business name.
Yeah.
And then as far as like the actual studio, I had to go through the city of Burlington and get this approved, get a mercantile license for this. And it was just a whole different realm. Like, I went to college for psychology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So business was not, some of the lingo and the words with business was like, I don't know what that means. So Google definitely saved my life. Without question. But basically, once I got the license for the space, the LLC for the name, it really just came to be about organization. Just making that, you know, that side Instagram just for this, being organized, being aware of when people are on Instagram, seeing, you know, who's looking at what time, posting at a certain time, following the right people. Like, you know, not following people that are just your friends, but following like a target audience. I think that's the biggest thing that is kind of working for my business and kind of shaping my business altogether.
That's very dope. Now, did you do all this stuff by yourself? Like, you figured out all this
Yes.
yourself?
Yeah.
So you're doing all of that by yourself, you're figuring all that. Like, was there any moment where you were kind of like just doubting yourself? Like, all right, I'm in over my head. Like, was there ever moments like that for you?
Oh yeah, without question. I think we're in an era where we are heavily insecure with, you know, social media just based on likes or views, you know. So there were moments where I'm like, is this getting seen because it's not necessarily getting likes? Or is it being portrayed the way I want people to receive it?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was that, and then the fact that you need to be on top of it every single day.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like I was being annoying, always talking about it. Like, the bank studio's this and the bank studio's that, but you have to. Like when you have a business, you literally have to live, breathe, and sleep your business because no one's gonna advocate for it harder than you.
That's a fact.
So it's been one of those things where I'm just trying to figure out how do I find fun different ways to push my brand without being annoying, without being too corny, and you know, with just being relevant to the times that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Now, how many classes do you guys offer here?
So right now we offer 2,
Okay.
hip hop,
Okay.
and dancing with heels. So like a heel dancing class.
I just do the basic 2 steps.
Okay, we
Look,
can do it.
ain't much. Look, but that's really, so I think you knocked on a lot of really good points though, because when you start something, like, you know why you did it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you see the vision. Like, when you were creating and going through the whole process of the LLC and looking for Google and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You knew what you wanted it to be. You knew the vision.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it is hard to like find people that see the vision the way you do.
Absolutely.
You know, and like it's tough.
Yeah.
It's definitely hard. So let me ask you this. So you said that it gave you confidence having friends and things like that were already kind of in a entrepreneurial space.
Yeah.
How did that, like, tell me more about that. Like, in what way did that help you?
So, funny story. Right across the hall is my best friend.
Okay.
She opened a hair studio. So I actually am so grateful for her because she actually found these spaces. You know, she was on Facebook Market, not even looking for office space, but stumbled across it.
Mm-hmm.
She came and checked it out. She called me. She was like, "Hey, yo, sis, you gotta take this ride with me. You gotta take this ride with me. The landlord's still there. I want you to talk to him. I think you should check it out." Mm-hmm. So I come out here and we look and, like, you know, he's showing her studio and I'm like, "Is there any more spaces?" And he shows me this and I'm like, "Oh, I need this. I need this." And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, it's been vacant for a long time." This was actually a psychiatric office.
Okay. Yeah.
And so because of the pandemic, that person actually left because they couldn't see their clients face to face anymore. So this was just vacant and the landlord was trying to get it filled. You know, it's a commercial space. He's trying to get it filled.
Yeah.
So I kind of just was like, I'll take it. Did all my renovations. I put all the wallpaper up, all of that,
like
painted the trimmings and all that. It was
How long
definitely
did that take? How long, like, all the...
Oh my gosh, like 2 months?
2 months?
Yeah, because one, I had to find a high enough ladder. These are really high ceilings.
No, they are.
So I had to find a high enough ladder to get some of the wallpaper up there.
Yeah.
And then I'm not really a painter.
Oh, you had to figure it out though.
So I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. So here I am like, okay, so you're not supposed to go up and down and then side to side because it's noticeable. So then I had to go back again.
Going back over it.
Oh my gosh, it was a home project. Okay.
Hey, but I mean, you see what it turned into though. So like, how does that feel for you, knowing that, like, you know, your friend stumbled upon this for you, she basically hit you up for it.
Yeah.
You put in the 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, what is that feeling now? Like, you walk into this space, like, what does that do for you?
It's surreal. It's like, sometimes I walk in and I just like, look, I'm just super quiet and I'm just like looking and I'm like, wow. Because for me, I always felt I had to be a certain age to have my studio. I've always wanted a dance studio.
Okay.
But in my head, it was always one of those things where it's like, okay, when I turn 30, I'll be able to have a dance studio, or when I get this job, I'll probably be able to get a dance studio. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So being able to have it at my age completely out of nowhere, like, it was literally just one of those calls. And it was like, sis, if you don't jump now, I don't know. Right, exactly. So I thank God for one. Thank my mom for teaching me how to save, because if I didn't know how to save, I wouldn't have had the money right then and there to take this off the market, because the landlord was pushing. He was trying to get this filled up. Yeah, so I just am speechless sometimes, but I'm just so grateful and so appreciative. It's just a dream. It really is.
Literally, as soon as we walked in, I was just like, yo, this is insane. Really, this was really, really dope because I've heard about it.
Yeah.
So now to actually be in the space and see it, it's like, man, like you can kind of see it's like, okay, this is like a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, and I think
my
that's so
baby.
dope. I think that's so dope, honestly. So pivoting a little bit, what things like motivate you? Like, how do you find motivation? Because like obviously, I mean, it's a long road. With figuring out the LLC, figuring out even all this stuff, and then the 2 months. Like, what motivated you to what or who motivated you to keep going?
So I would say my passion for dance definitely motivated me, above everything. I've just always wanted to think of the bigger picture. Like, I don't want to just dance. Like, I don't want to just drop videos and show that I can dance. Because I feel like there's only so many videos you could post for your followers to understand that you know how to dance. Like, after a while, it's like, I know Nadia can dance. Like, she's a dancer, So for me, it's the longevity. Having something for myself. I don't really know how to do anything else as well as dancing, So it's one of those things where it's like, how can I make this something that builds a legacy for myself? I was telling you that the Bang Studios comes from my literal last name. So it's like, how can I push my legacy? And that motivates me beyond anything because I just want to build something that will continue after I'm gone, after I move, because I don't plan to be in Jersey forever, but I want to just have something of my own that just carries,
And I think that gets lost a lot though. Like, I think, well, not necessarily lost, but where when people develop something that they know they want to do, regardless of how big the dream is, when you do think about it and when you just use that word legacy, right, it's like, that really can apply to anyone's goal. That can apply to anyone's dream. And I think that when people look at it through that lens, right, where it's not just that tangible position, it's not just that space or whatever anyone's dream is, but when you look at it from the standpoint of, okay, this is how someone's going to remember me. This is like for you with Bang Studios, like when people see Bang Studios, wherever it may be, because when you're going to grow out here eventually, they're going to know, okay, that's not it. They're going to see the logo and they're going to go, oh, that's not it. Right? And like, how does that feel? Where, is there, how do I want to word this? So obviously with business, you have to put yourself out there. Right? Was that like a struggle? Did you struggle with that at all? Where it's like you kind of like putting yourself out there in like a different, not in a different way because like you love to dance. But
it was tricky because, and I don't want to keep going back to social media, but it is a really big part of my business, and it's really hard trying to traffic your followers to a different page. Oh my gosh, that is so hard. Like, I can literally post something on my page and it gets a bigger response than my separate page for the business. And it's like, I want to separate the two because like my personal page, I put stuff that has nothing to do with my business. So it's like, I want there to be a difference between those two. And that's been like, so hard trying to push people to follow that page or go look on that page for the video. I'm not gonna post it here. Like, I'm putting my foot down. I'm not posting it.
I know exactly what you mean because I deal with the same thing where it's like my personal page, it'll get way more views, way more likes and everything, but on the business page, it's like a completely different dynamic. So I get it, and I mean with social media now, it's especially everyone being in the house with the pandemic and stuff. I mean, you have to put real effort towards it. Whereas, especially with before, a couple years ago, you didn't have to put that much effort into it.
At all.
Like before, you could post once a month and you're good.
And you're okay.
Now, if you're not posting, at least
they're forgetting about you.
Like it's over for you. These algorithms are
you're not relevant. Your posts are not going to get seen. And it can be really, really stressful. Especially just being in a era where there is so much technology that sometimes we do like forget about reality. It's like, wow, I'm really on my phone a lot for my business, looking down, and it's like sometimes I'm like, I just need a break. One day, I'm just gonna go outside.
That's right. So how do you? Let me ask you that. How do you relax? How do you take your break? For you?
I would say sometimes a movie. I love movies. I'm a movie junkie.
Okay.
So I love just sitting back, watching some movies sometimes. And I really do like being outside. Like I'm a go to the park kind of girl. Like I will go to the park, like with some snacks and some wine and just chill. Like and really just chill. Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. So you say you go outside, you relax. Let me think. Who pivoting topics again?
Okay.
Because there's so much to talk about. Who helped motivate you? Who helped? So you told me what motivated you.
Yeah.
You said legacy. Now who? Was there any people that motivated you? Now, I know you said you got the support of your friends.
Right.
But is there anyone that just like strictly motivated you?
I would say my mom.
Okay.
My mom, she's just such a go-getter and a hard-working single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing the things that she has been able to provide and just do on her own. She's also a foreigner. She wasn't born here. So just seeing her be able to manifest this life for herself and for her family, it's like big. So for me, it's like, well, I was born here, born and raised. Like I know the ins and outs of, our country. So it's kind of like one of those things where I feel like I shouldn't have any barriers. Like there shouldn't be something holding me back. Cause it's not like I'm like English is a second language to me or, I moved here and I'm not too sure about the customs of being an American. Like, I just feel like there's just no barrier, based on, looking at her and seeing her growing up, having to become a citizen, having to show her work ethic in a different way because she didn't have that resume and just seeing where she is now. Oh yeah, that's big motivation. Like, there's nothing that can stop.
Did you guys talk a lot, like during the process of all this? Like,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know she got to be proud.
Oh yes. At first she was like, "That's a lot of money." She was like, wait, you just out of college. Like, wait, it's only But I was like, Mom, I got this. I promise I got you. She invested in me too. It was really just her seeing like my passion and my drive. And she was just like, oh yeah, no, you're serious about this. So if you're serious, I gotta be serious. I got your back.
It's easy to like when you see someone that's serious about whatever they're pursuing. Like you can easily tell the difference between someone that's really working towards their dream, towards their goals, by any means, versus someone that just talks, versus lip service. And especially now, even in a business sense, you do have to be able to differentiate.
Yeah, for sure.
Whether you're investing, whether you're about to partner,
yeah,
whatever it is, it's like just your level of communication has to, you gotta have your antennas up to like see,
at all times,
like what's going on. So that's really dope. Like, I like that you have, so you said like your legacy motivated you, your mom motivated you. Do you have anything that like isn't necessarily a person, isn't necessarily something like legacy, but like is there like a song that you listen to motivate you? Is there like a movie you watch that motivates you? Even just a role model, like someone you just haven't met that's just like, oh, you see them and it's like, oh, like that person.
I wouldn't say I have something specific in that sense, but I do, take a liking to a lot of self-made choreographers, because the ones that I aspire to be kind of came about when, back then it was easier to just say, I have a dream, this is what I want to do, and actually support yourself. I feel like now it's harder to do things like that because there's so much of it. So it's like, okay, I'm going to pick you out of the 100 million that also do your craft.
Right.
So people like Lorianne Gibson, major choreographer. Like, I remember watching Making the Band. Do you remember that show with Diddy?
I remember.
Lorianne Gibson, Miss Boom Cat. Yeah. I used to literally like this, like, oh my gosh, I love this woman. Like, I love this woman. She would transform artists to being performers. She would train dancers to become 100 times better. And I think that's what really shaped me, because I'm like, I want to do that. Like, I don't want to just dance. Like, of course I want to dance, but I want to be Miss Boot Camp too, you know? Like,
so wait, how do you, so obviously the space now, I don't know what the space is for choreographers and things like that, but how do you actually establish yourself as a dancer, as a choreographer? Like, how do you do that? How do you differentiate yourself?
I think in these times, it's kind of either you go and find a company and get trained, you know, because there's a lot of those agencies and companies out there that offer like memberships, and you know, you go to the studio, you train so and so times a week. They may or may not have recitals, you know, live performances, but that's like a big thing. And then there's the other side, which is like a self-made dancer, someone that always could dance and kind of just buckled up and really started focusing on their craft. But I always say it's really important to know who you are, because not every dancer is a choreographer, and not every choreographer is a dancer. Right. You know, there's a big difference. Like, you can know how to dance, but you may not know how to create a whole routine, and you may not be able to teach your movements to other people. Because a big thing with dancing, the base is freestyling. You know, you have to know who you are as a dancer. If somebody's like, dance, they put on a song, and you just have to dance, like, you have to know who you are, like, you know. Right, but a choreographer is someone that can teach their movement to someone else. I can literally show you the way that I'm moving my body so that you can move the same way. And that's hard to do. Especially if you don't know yourself. Because like, you can freestyle real quick and not know how to like show other people how you did certain things with your body. And I think that's a big difference between being a dancer and being a choreographer.
That's great. I just learned something there.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
When you explain it like that, it definitely makes complete sense of that difference. Wow. My mind is blown. I didn't know.
Okay.
I mean, that's crazy, because it sounds like it's just a really competitive feel.
Like, there's a high demand for dancers, but yet a low demand. In the sense of not everybody makes it, but dancers are needed by everyone.
Right.
Everyone. Like, ads, live performances, marketing. People love dancing. People love cute little things that, you know, it's a big marketing tool to have a fun dance to show off your snack, or a fun dance to show off those sneakers. Artists, musicians, having dancers in the back for your live performance, it makes a difference. So it's just, I love this industry so much, but it can be very competitive, because like, not everyone is gonna make it, you know?
So let me ask you this, I wanna go back now.
Yeah.
So with everything that we talked about, from, you know, you've been dancing for 18, 19 years, your passion, you've always owned the studio, you have the studio, everything like that. What did you learn about yourself, like, personally? Like, what did you feel like you got better at personally, just through this entire process?
Oh, that's a good question.
I tried.
That's a good question. Time management.
Okay.
I got really good at time management because of this studio. Because like I said, I teach these classes by myself right now. I don't have any other teachers, any other choreographers right now. So I literally have to map out my time. Like, okay, go to work, get off work. Do you have time to go home? Do you have time to change? Or should you just bring it with you so that from work you're going straight to the studio?
Right.
And just scheduling things, like, you know, being on top of my organization is really, really big. I get a lot of DMs, a lot of different people that, you know, want to work with me, and it's like making sure I respond to everybody. So definitely time management and my organization has improved tenfold.
Okay. So now give me something that is like, on a personal level, like, do you feel like you obviously like overcoming an obstacle, right? Accomplishing this goal. Do you feel like you improved in like it was like I said, like a self-confidence thing that you improved in, or yeah, just like on a more personal level. It's like time management is definitely running a business. Jesus is important. But just for you personally, like what is like maybe one skill or something like that, just on a real personal level that you got better at through this entire thing?
I would say working with people.
Okay.
You know, I've always had a welcoming personality, but there's sometimes dealing with certain people that don't have the same energy as you can be a little draining, but you can't show it. You know, owning a business, you can't show it because that will linger onto your business no matter what you try to do. So I guess for me, it was being able to read the room and kind of make myself fit in it.
Yeah.
You know, make my personality fit in whatever room I'm in, with whomever I'm speaking with, and just kind of knowing when is when. Because I'm kind of loud, yeah. I'm a little loud. I'm a little, you know. So just knowing when is when, and you know, just knowing which, you know, which person or which personality works and what doesn't work, and to pull back and to give more and to be more observant or to talk or, you know.
Yeah, but that, I mean, even hearing your answer, like, that takes a level of knowing yourself.
Yes,
right?
For
to
sure.
even know how, like, to even, like you said, to know how to navigate a room.
Yeah.
I have to know how I am to even what I need to change to get in that room.
For sure.
And that's a fact. I mean, that's so real. So let me ask you this: do you have any like routines for yourself? So like, you know, you say you're improving time management, you know, you are working with people. Do you have any like routines like that kind of like whether it be a morning routine, a night routine, something like that? Like, you don't mind?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I would say after my day is over, I have a routine where you know, I just go home, take a hot shower, you know, get all my stuff ready for work the next day. But then I like go through my playlists, and I go through like what's that thing on Apple Music where they have like today's hits or something like that?
Oh, the playlist. I know what you're talking about. Radio thing.
Yeah, so I go through that and I go through my own music, just to see what is trending, and just to keep me grounded with what music I like to dance to too. Because sometimes I don't like to base it on the music that's trending because I want to be authentic.
Yeah.
But I, you know, shuffle through all of that to make sure my inspiration is still there. Because for me, when I create a routine, if I wasn't inspired by the song, you can tell. Like, you can tell the moves, the routine, it's not as bow as it would be if I loved that song. So I just always like to stay fresh, like to stay inspired. So I'll put my earpods in and I'll just, you know, just kind of like, okay. And I have this thing where, like, if I'm listening to a song and I get goosebumps, I know it's something I can choreograph to. So I'll write it down. Like, okay, that's one song. Oh, that's another song. And I do that maybe like 3 times a week, just so I can keep my list updated.
Does that even allow? Are you able to listen to music just to enjoy the music? Because I feel like wouldn't that cause you to just listen to the music and just think, okay, can I use this for a dance?
Yeah. You know, it's a little bit of both sides. I feel like there are times where I need to take a step back and just enjoy music for what it is.
Right.
But there's also just that factor where I can't control it. It's really just my gift. Like, something will just go off, like, and I'll literally see the whole piece, like moves and all. I will see everything. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah, that's dope. I'm always on the side of the creative process.
Yeah.
That's really, really dope.
Yeah.
What do you think? So I want to go back to legacy because I think that's just so powerful.
Okay.
Like, someone says, you know, someone asks, who is Nadia Banger? What do you want them to be able to say?
Another great question. I would probably say I want them to know me as an innovator.
I told you, Bob.
I know. That's pretty good. No, I want them to know me as an innovator, someone that was so community based, someone that's inspiring. I really want to just inspire.
Now, inspire who?
I want
Inspire.
to inspire other dancers to know that they can do this, and it doesn't have to be a hobby. Because it definitely is one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I can get paid for this. Can I pay my rent with dance? No. You know, so knowing that you can find a lane in this realm, it doesn't have to just be like, oh, I'm only getting paid for a dance gig. Like, no, you can open your own studio too. You can teach classes. You can, have your studio serve as a creative space, like myself, where photographers, videographers, hairstylists, nail techs, they're all coming here to teach their masterclass, to teach their craft to others too. And I just, that's what I want people to know me as. Someone that was for everybody's dream.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
No, I think that's really dope just because, how many people think like that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's why I'm so stuck on when you say legacy. Like, how many people think about that?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, when I'm dead and gone, like, what are people actually going to say?
Exactly.
What did they? What have I done that is bigger than me?
Yeah.
Right? And that's what's real.
Yeah.
Right? Because money's whatever. Money comes and goes.
You don't get to die with it.
Right. And so with what you're doing here, I always love just hearing, individuals like yourself talk about how you're not moving in a way that is financial. It's not fiscal. You're moving in a way where it's like, look, I'm trying to impact people along with doing what I love to do. Yeah. And I think what's great about dance is, like I said, I'm not as familiar in terms of the art of it, the details of it like you are, but in terms of, when people think of dance, like you said earlier, they're not necessarily thinking about it as a money maker.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, for people to still have a passion for a piece of art that isn't necessarily a money maker, right? Especially because in today's society, we're just like all brainwashing things. It's not making you any money.
It don't make no sense. Yeah.
But, for you to still be like, nah, like, listen, you can be creative in this space and do it. Like, I think that's wrap on that. That's just crazy. Like, so I think that's just so dope. And just obviously with your story and obviously being motivated with your mom's background, which we talked about a little bit, everything like that. Okay, give me your biggest obstacle. Now I said what's your obstacle with all of this? Okay. But tell me your biggest obstacle with just in terms of everything in totality. Okay. Right. So from you were dancing 18 years. You said you wanted to studio. Yeah. Right, and you're here. Yeah. What would you say was your biggest obstacle?
My biggest obstacle is, I guess, not knowing every dance style. Okay. So, you want to be well-rounded across the board, but when you can't teach every single style, you just can't reach every single audience. Yeah. So that's a big obstacle for me. And sometimes, I'm just starting. So my studio isn't the biggest. So sometimes that's an obstacle for me because I do want more space so that more people can come. Yeah. But that's all with growth.
That's all flux.
That's all with growth. We gonna get bigger and better.
Look, don't let her fool you. This place is big. Okay. But I feel that though, because with more space, obviously you get more people and things like that. Yeah. So that's really dope. And you're doing things from a place from just a different place. Yeah. So I think that's awesome. Yeah. We covered a lot. Yeah, we talked about a lot of good stuff. Yeah, man. I think a lot of people are really gonna like this. Yeah. But we'll wrap up on that. Thank you guys for tuning in for episode 1 of season 2 of Dream Talks, presented by Craft Your Dream Inc. This is a blast. See you guys next episode. it.